Dog Trainer TikTok today. Let's talk about the leverage of training tools in dog training. First, let's go ahead and define leverage. So leverage is going to be the power to influence a person, an animal, or situation to achieve a particular outcome. More often than not, we kind of think of leverage like this. In dog training, if you're only using one tool, the weight of that training tool needs to be really heavy if you're working up against other competing motivators like dogs, people, prey, guests, fear, whatever it may be. Now, if you're using a mixture of training tools, the weight of those tools can be spread out over a variety of different tools. So for example, if you're using an e-collar and a leash and a prong collar and positive reinforcement and maybe your body language and parts of the environment or whatever it may be, you can have it kind of like equally spread out amongst all these different tools. What's the benefit of having a lot of different tools in your toolbox is that depending on the weight of the competing motivator, you can increase or decrease the weight or the value of your training tool. So for example, if the dog is getting out of the yard and chasing after prey, coming into traffic, whatever it may be, maybe your e-collar is going to be at a much heavier weight or value, the leash not so much because your dog is off leash. Obviously the prong collar is not going to be a part of the situation here, and your positive reinforcement isn't going to be as motivating as chasing after prey. Now, what ends up happening a lot of the time is that if you only have one tool and the weight of that training tool isn't as much as the competing motivator, this is what your leverage is going to look like. Even if your weight of your value of your motivator is at its maximum capacity, it may not be high enough for the competing motivator. This goes for literally all tools. It's not just for positive reinforcement. It's not just for balance training tools. It goes for any tool. Now, what training tool that you use, it totally depends on your own personal morals and ethics. For me and in my training and why I choose to use training tools, it's for a myriad of different reasons. But here is two of many of them. Is that one, I know how to condition these tools and how to maximize their effectiveness while understanding its risks and its benefits and also its limitations in a way that the dog also understands. Number two, I have more tools to create leverage in training situations where I can increase or decrease variables across a lot of different tools instead of limiting myself to just a few. And the last thing that I want to talk about in this is that consistency is really important in training for a variety of different reasons, but it's mostly because you want to have changes in the leverages and in the amount of value that all of your different training tools have. So one of the big things is that where if you place too much weight in one particular tool, you should be able to decrease the amount of weight that that tool places over a period of time. For example, if I'm using my leash a lot at the beginning, if I'm using the prong collar a lot, whatever it may be, over a period of time, maybe I want to increase the weight of my positive reinforcement so that way that's a lot heavier than whatever else.